It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Butterfly Palace. Have the best day ever at the Butterfly Palace. Springfield Greene County Park Board, reminding you to go play. Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good morning to you on Monday, President's Day. Hope you're ready for a great week. Maybe you have the day off. A lot of the kids do. There's Diana Tyndall from Modern Day Marketing. She's still with me this week. Thanks for being with me. Did you have a good weekend?
I did. It was wonderful. We just chilled.
All right.
It was nice.
Good deal. Well, here we go. We're going to start with a little news as we do.
On President's Day.
On President's Day. That's right.
A big day in the Tyndall house. We can talk about that later.
I want to hear about that. I think I know, but I want to hear about it.
All right. Here we go.
All right, in the news this morning, Christian County will hold a public meeting next week on a proposed battery storage facility near Ozark. Some neighbors are not happy about the plan by Black Mountain Energy Storage to build the facility at Elk Valley and Old Prospect Roads, just south of Ozark. The project would sit on more than 30 acres and house lithium-ion batteries. People have a problem with that. The public meeting about the proposal is on Tuesday of next week at 9:30 in the a.m. My glasses are crooked. I can't get them straight either. Now everybody's going to leave looking. They're just readers. The public meeting about the proposal is on Tuesday of next week, 9:30 in the a.m. at the Christian County Courthouse. So that has potential there to get into something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are they bothered by the batteries? Just that it's batteries?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that a lot of them live near them. They weren't notified individually, like by mail or anything. They just kind of heard about it. Okay. So therefore, the feeling among some folks is that they're like trying to ram this in without us having a say. I think that's what it is. We'll see next week. Then there's a bill in the Missouri legislature that would give lifetime protection to victims of abuse. That bill is sponsored by State Senator Mike Moon from Ash Grove. It would allow for lifetime protection orders for victims of serious crimes. Right now, an order of protection is valid for only up to 180 days and has to be renewed that often if the victim asks for renewal. This bill would give a lifetime protection order unless the victim dies, the conviction is dismissed, expunged, or overturned, or if the victim asks for it to be terminated. It's moving through the legislature right now, so not a
bad idea. I have had friends in the past where they've had, awful situations of abusers. So
yeah. Well, that's 180 days. That's fairly often you're having to do that. Whenever and if it's a real threat, which it is, if you got one to begin with, those don't just go away like that,
Yeah. Or at least extend it to a year. Instead of every 6 months. So
yeah.
Well, yesterday marked 1 week after a shooting at Pastor Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas. Yesterday was the church's first service since an attacker began shooting and was killed by off-duty officers. Here in the Ozarks, many churches have been ramping up for security for years to be ready in case that sort of attack happens here. Hopefully not, but many work with outside security firms to receive training on how to defend against shooters. And it's sad that we would have to do that. But
we've seen in the past, there are congregants who a lot of times the church will give the thumbs up to let them carry. And we've seen that work in other churches, small churches, where the congregant is the one who stops the attacker. You're right. It's sad to think about.
Well, it could be just terrible, even worse. Yeah. So thank goodness. And 2 juveniles are now charged in the shootings at the Chiefs rally last week. One other person was detained in the shootings, but released by the police. As for victims, all 11 of the children hurt in the attack, 9 of them had been shot. They are all out of the hospital, which is good. 2 adults are still in critical condition. So say some prayers for them. 1 is in serious condition. And as we know, and we talked about this last week, 43-year-old Kansas City radio personality was killed in the shooting. More charges are expected against the attackers.
Yeah, they've got just enough gun charges, gun possession charges, I think, are what they're charged with now. But the bigger stuff is still to come because it takes more homework.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you have the case right. Springfield's airport, this is cool. It's getting $5.4 million from the feds. The FAA is giving that grant to the Springfield airport to replace up to five passenger boarding bridges that are each 30 years old. You don't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Those five make up half of the airport's passenger bridges. The new ones, we're told, should be up and running by around July of 2025.
Neat.
And then Drury University is getting a $1.5 million matching donation from the O'Reilly and Wooten families. It's part of the university's Fortify the Future Capital campaign, which has raised $34 million out of the $50 million goal. The matching challenge is intended to mark Drury's 150th anniversary.
Well, that's cool. And the Springfield School District will have two new principals for the 2024-2025 school year. Adam Bax will become the principal of Field Elementary School. He comes to that position after being the principal of Wilder for the last 4 years. Bax was a former teacher at Field, where he will take over as principal. And Brett Engel will be principal of Williams Elementary. He comes from the principal position at Reed Academy. So congrats to them.
Yeah.
And some Springfield students got quite a surprise the other day. New shoes. The United Way of the Ozarks teamed up with the Springfield Central Labor Council to give away nearly 250 pairs of shoes to students at Bowerman Elementary School. How special is that?
Yeah, that's cool. What a surprise for those kids. And who doesn't love new shoes?
Oh, they're especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
And kids. Shoes.
Yeah, they grow out of them so quickly that now the parents don't have to worry about the shoes. The kids have shoes. That's great.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. Hudson Hawk now has its own line of styling products.
Ooh.
They are called, that line is called Hitch, Hitch, Hitch. Right now it includes all-day clay and weightless clay and plans to add some other products, including shampoo. Hudson Hawk has barbershops in Springfield, Northwest Arkansas, Kansas City, Tulsa, and Columbia. So it's another Springfield business. It's kind of going everywhere.
That's awesome. I love the smell of like good men's products.
Yeah.
Not for myself, but just I'm so glad I have boys in my life, and I'm like, hey, go put that stuff on your hair again. And let me smell it.
Yeah, they were talking about how hard they worked on the scent to get the scent just right, because you're right. To your point, it's important.
Well, an appropriate scent, right? So who knows, like Axe body spray and all that stuff. I'm like, oh no, not
much.
yet. But then like much. Dove is too subtle. So it's like maybe somewhere in the middle.
We'll get some Hitch and see how it smells.
Yeah, I might.
There's a new chicken restaurant, meanwhile, down in Branson. The Side Chick is what it's called. It's located at the Track Family Fun Park on Highway 76. The new eatery comes from the owners of Gettin' Basted Barbecue Restaurant, Downing Street Poorhouse in Hollister, and Mythical Witch Sandwich Shop, which just opened, I think, maybe in December of last year, very recently in downtown Branson. Mythical Witch, as in sand witch.
Witch. Like Witch, when that was here.
Like Witch, right.
Uh-huh. Very neat. Well, a new survey, nearly half of Americans, this is interesting, 45% feel addicted to their smartphones.
Huh.
The average American spends almost 5 hours every day looking at their phone. And so if children get their first phone at about age 12, the average life expectancy in the U.S. is 76 years. That means the average American, this is crazy to me, the average American will spend 12 years staring at their phone screen in their life. Ethan,
we've added one of those stats, because it used to be like you're in your car in traffic, that takes up 2 years of your life or more or whatever, and then it's
sleeping.
Eating takes up sleeping.
Yes.
It's like I don't have much life left to live.
Well, sleeping is just critical, but when you think about something just non-essential like this, although people might argue with me about that, but I know I get my screen time report, and sometimes it's more than 5 hours. You know, sometimes with teens, it's a ridiculous amount, like 10 hours. I don't know what theirs would say. How much is your screen time? Do you have?
I don't even look. I don't have a report.
Oh, do you have an iPhone?
No, I have an Android.
Oh, you have an Android.
It tried to send that to me once or twice, but I don't pay any attention to it.
And you're like, I don't want to see it. I don't even want to know.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe after this I'll look, just out of
yeah.
curiosity.
I'm
But
just
man, oh man,
curious. I mean, do the girls have phones yet or not? Not
the
really.
oldest one does. Yeah.
The oldest one?
Mhm.
Yeah, ours don't yet. Actually,
Oh,
it's
that's
kind of
good.
funny because
Well,
ours.
how do they spend 10 hours on screen time, you said?
Well, no, that's just what I've heard from other friends
Oh.
of mine that, well, in gaming, I mean, they spend time staring at other screens, which isn't
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
But yeah, our youngest or our oldest is almost 15, and he is, I'm pretty sure, the only kid in high school that doesn't have a phone, and he doesn't want one. He's like, I don't want
Oh,
to
cool.
be like everyone else, which is great. I'll just keep milking that for as long as possible
No,
because
that's
he
super
sets the
cool.
precedent for the other one.
No, yeah, absolutely. That's great. Good for you. Somebody who goes
Well,
against the grain. I like it. We have an almost 15-year-old, and we ended up getting her. All parents say this, but it was true because she does so many things, so many extracurricular things,
right.
and we're always going to pick her up and all of that. Sarah felt like it was, and I think both of us did, but she
Yeah.
picks her up more than I do. Felt like it was a necessity.
Probably
but
a safety issue.
Well, we do limit the screen time quite a bit, and to her credit, she's really not on it much. So we haven't had to lay down the smack
Right.
down. What is it called? Or crack down.
Crack
lay down
the
the
whip.
crack. Lay down the crack.
No,
I think is
there's
what it
no
is.
laying down crack. No,
that's not what it is.
That's a drug term. No, crack the whip or smack down.
Smack
You
down.
can choose. You can
yes,
choose
one
either
of those. I did a combination. It didn't work out so well.
Okay.
But we haven't really had to do that, thankfully.
Yeah.
But we do have reports on what she's doing and all that because,
That's
I
good.
can't even imagine. And what I think about is like all of this is an experiment. We're experimenting with this generation of kids who stare at screens constantly. Because you and I, when we were growing up, we didn't stare at screens constantly.
No.
Only the second half of our lives have we been staring at screens, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before that, we were looking at books and papers and things like that at school, certainly. But now these kids are growing up on screens at school. And we've already heard reports from eye doctors talking about the damage that's being done. But we'll just wait till they get to the end of their life and they've stared at a screen
for 12 years.
Straight years.
That's just crazy
to
me. I mean, I get it. We're probably right around the corner of, our oldest needing a phone because he's wanting to get a job this summer. And I'm like, it ain't going to be my phone that your employer's calling and you're communicating with. But it's just, it's something I know a lot of parents struggle with. And I think just because they get a phone doesn't mean they need social media with it. Doesn't mean they need internet with it. And I think a lot of it's just, it takes work to try to put in those filters and all of that stuff. So
it is. And it's unfamiliar work for a lot of people. It's like you don't know what you're doing in some cases, and you got to try to be on top of it. So it is work. It is work. Well, hey, today's President's Day.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And I know it's an exciting day in your household. I mean, maybe Easter, Christmas, President's Day. Is that how it goes?
No, I don't know. President's Days, I don't know. It just became a thing. We started celebrating. Our boys have names after presidents, the good ones at least. And then, but we started this when they were younger, and we would have just like, Santa Claus would come, the Secret Service would come and deliver presents. Yeah, for President's Day. And so if you want to take my tradition, feel free to take it. There's still time this morning. You can set out something presidential if you have something. I don't know. But we've done like the bobbleheads. We've done like the 8x10s framed of the old school black and white presidents.
That's awesome.
The president's like mats that you like eat dinner on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we just made it a thing, and now they're probably just like over it, but we still like to make it.
But you're not.
We'll probably we're
Brian
gonna
love it. It's a highlight. That's
we
fantastic.
do. I think we're gonna work on our President's Day puzzle, which was also a gift from the Secret Service. Thank you, Secret Service.
That's a fantastic idea that the Secret Service delivers the gifts.
It's just
fantastic.
Fun. It's just something fun.
That's fun. Well, good for you. Creative. I like
well,
it.
and a lot of people are enjoying the day off. So enjoy the day off if you got it. And kids are out of school today. So I don't know what we're going to do.
I know. Well, you're going to celebrate President's Day.
Right. And do a puzzle. Oh, goody.
That's cool. I like that idea. All right. Well, whatever you're doing today, enjoy it. And we will be back bright and early tomorrow. Sarah's getting back. She's in the air as we speak. So she's flying. She's been flying since, I think, 2 hours ago our time. She got on her first plane. And I think it's 42 hours that she'll be traveling. It's not all. She has a long layover, I think, in Qatar because she's coming back from Africa with our boy and with some friends of theirs. So she'll be back. I think she'll be back late tomorrow. So,
so who knows if I'll fill in or she'll fill in? Who knows?
Yeah,
she might need her sleep.
I got a feeling she may not want to get up early Wednesday morning. So you may be with me one more time.
Okay, we'll see.
Times. Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks for filling in. And thank you for watching and listening. Have yourself a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.